Everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. So late Wednesday, the January 6th Select Committee released a pretty shocking report. They've kind of hinted at this before, but they flat out accused Donald Trump and his campaign of taking part in a criminal conspiracy. Their findings were filed in a federal court, and the report states in part, quote, "The Select Committee also has a good faith basis for concluding that the president and members of his campaign engaged in a criminal conspiracy to defraud the United States." Again, they've hinted at that, but this pretty much lays it out. The report was filed in a California court because the Select Committee is still trying to obtain emails that were sent to and from attorney John Eastman, who resides in California, and he was until recently a professor at the very prestigious Chapman University in the city of Orange, California. And that correspondence, they say, meaning the emails, will help them to piece together some of the elements of this, alleged election scheme between Trump and the others. And in the committee's filing, they note that Eastman knew that his actions were illegal. And if that name sounds familiar, it's because he's the one who wrote that infamous Eastman memo, which was circulating. And the report goes on to state, quote, "Plaintiff knew that what he was proposing would violate the law, but nonetheless urged the vice president to take those actions." So the actions they're alluding to involve that memo that I mentioned that Eastman drafted, and that detailed how Vice President Mike Pence could subvert election laws and overturn the election. And they point out in this document that even as the Capitol Police were being attacked, as the Capitol was being attacked, people were hiding, fearing for their lives, Eastman continued to push for Pence to take this illegal action. So on January 6th, while they were under attack, one of Pence's counselors emailed Eastman and blamed him and said, quote, "Thanks to your bullshit, we are now under siege." Well, rather than going, "Oh my God, I didn't mean for this to happen," showing some kind of remorse, for what he allegedly helped to incite, Eastman doubled down and he said in response, quote, "The siege," which he put in quotes, "is because you and your boss did not do what was necessary to allow this to be aired in a public way so the American people can see for themselves what happened." And then Eastman made yet another attempt to try to persuade Pence into doing what he wanted. And he admitted that if Pence went along with this request that he was making, that it would constitute a, quote, "relatively minor violation of federal law." So he knew it was illegal and he pushed for it anyway. The Select Committee also notes in these findings that they submitted that one of Trump's senior campaign advisors informed this committee that a campaign data expert told Trump, quote, "in pretty blunt terms, that he was going to lose the election." So he was being told by people all over the place. Another example they gave was that Attorney General William Barr, Acting Attorney General Jeffrey Rosen, Acting Deputy Attorney General Richard Donahue, the DHS Secretary, Trump's own White House counsel, and his chief of staff, Mark Meadows, all told Trump that there was no evidence of widespread voter fraud that would have changed the election results. In addition, they held a meeting with him apparently on December 15th at the White House, and they informed Trump that, quote, "people are telling you things that are not right." Donahue also had a call with Trump later on December 27th, in which he explained, quote, "in very clear terms, that the Justice Department performed, quote, dozens of investigations, hundreds of interviews, and that they reviewed information in Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Nevada, and concluded that, quote, "the major allegations are not supported by the evidence developed." So in filing this document with the California court, the committee is hoping that the judge overseeing this Eastman matter will agree to force Eastman to release all of his emails to the committee. So he's already sat for an interview with them. He pleaded the fifth, which, what did Trump say about pleading the fifth? But yeah, he pleaded the fifth. So far, he's turned over a number of documents, but he's still citing attorney-client privilege to defend his refusal to relinquish thousands of additional emails. But the committee is arguing that, number one, an attorney can't use attorney-client privilege as an excuse to try to shield evidence of a crime. So if an attorney is taking part in a crime with his client, he can't go, oh, well, I'm not going to give you that evidence because it's attorney-client privilege. And legally, literally, lawfully can't do that. And number two, Eastman apparently didn't have a signed contract with Donald Trump or his campaign. He apparently drafted a contract with the campaign, but it was never signed. And then I also wanted to note and let you guys know that it just literally in the last few days came out that the California State Bar confirmed that all the way back in September of last year, they opened an ethics investigation into Eastman. They're trying to determine if Eastman, quote, engaged in conduct in violation of California law and ethics rules governing attorneys following and in relation to the November 2020 presidential election. I will let you guys know when I hear more, but this is really big news because more than likely, they would not use this framing. They wouldn't use this language in a public-facing document unless they were planning to submit this eventually, and all of this information, all of this evidence to the Department of Justice. And, we'll see where it goes from there. We'll see if Merrick Garland wakes up from his, sleeping beauty nap and maybe does something with it and does something to actually help our country and, avoid a complete kleptocratic dictatorial nightmare come 2024. We'll see. Anyway, I'll keep you guys posted. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care. I'll talk with you soon.